Alright, so let's just do this. Well, okay, I'm excited, fellas and fellettes, because I'm about to unbox a brand new, custom-made Raiders of the Lost Ark Bullwhip from a very respectable whip maker named Steve Townsend. Oh, here's the old Raiders whip. The old Raiders whip up against the old Raiders poster. This is a Russell Schultz kangaroo hide bullwhip that I got from Western Stage Props. It doesn't have its fall and cracker on it, as you can plainly see. And it's about an 8-footer right now. So that was my trusty, companion through all these years, since about 2003 or so. Oh, so now, holy crap. Oh.
This is sweet or not.
There's our, we're still recording?
Yes.
There's our little pack of Picard's leather dressing to keep things conditioned, and a few extra crackers along the way. David Morgan style crackers, of course, because we're looking at, oh God, I don't even have to use that knife. Alright. Get on with it! Oh my God! Oh, sh**. Oh. Okay. Alright. Excuse me. Oh. Practically trembling. Ooh. Keep it under control, Steve. Oh.
It's a mighty fine whip there.
Putting my glasses on. Yeah. This is this. Oh. I'm sure it smells good too. Yeah.
Do you want to get a close up of the new one?
Look. Yeah, man. That is it. Wow. All right, we're taking some pictures. Oh boy. Thank you for the videography there. You're going to get credited. All right, well, nothing left to do but crack it. Oh gosh, let's go out and see how this sounds. Ooh, I'm going to give it one crack in the backyard. The first crack in the backyard. Press pause.
And we're rolling.
All right. Let's clear some brush. It's going to be really loud. You might want to back up. Here we go.
So he's going to take his first crack at this.
Uh-huh. The Raiders of the Lost Ark 8-foot custom-made kangaroo hide bullwhip from Steve Townsend. Thank you very much. First crack. All right. Good day. Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Garland. I'm out here in the park. I'm about to demonstrate a couple of the whips that I have. One being a Russell Schultz kangaroo hide Indiana Jones bullwhip that I purchased back in around 2000, 3. See if I can get these things untangled here. Yeah, so this is my first kangaroo hide whip. I actually do have a kangaroo hide whip other than my Steve Townsend, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, this is my Russell Schultz Bullwhip that I've recently repaired, put a brand new fall in it. There is, however, there is actually a little break in a couple strands here near the end of the thong that give it a vulnerable point, but it's been holding up for quite some time, and I'm actually going to test it for the first time in, I don't know how many years it's been since I've last cracked this, but also I'm also going to test this Steve Townsend, this Townsend handcrafted Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark Bullwhip that I just got recently. That you know, the weight of the two whips is quite distinct and you know, different from one another. This one's a much heavier whip. The Russell Schultz is actually a, you know, the taper carries through on the thong quite a bit, whereas comparatively, you look at the Raiders whip. I don't know. There's a little bit less girth to the Raiders whip, and it does feel a lot lighter. So I get to now have the authentic, you know, with the longer handle as well. The Russell Schultz employed the shorter handle, which is something that we all know that Dave Morgan kind of went for throughout the years as he continually just, you know, upgraded his whips. But what I have here in the Steve Townsend whip, Townsend handcrafted whips, is nothing short of a miracle. For the first time I get to crack a real Raiders of the Lost Ark bullwhip and feel how it feels, or how it would have felt, you know, in the movie. So both of them, I'm just going to give them both the time of day, do a couple trick shots maybe near the end of the video, and well, we'll see where we go from here. That was the Russell Schultz followed by the Steve Townsend. Now let's get out there.
Start the engines! Get it up! Jock! Start the engines! Start the engines, Jock!
Okay, so by request, I'm going to do a little target practice. Don't know which whip I'm going to use initially. I don't have a lot of leeway in this particular park, but I think I might have overstayed my welcome in the one park by cracking out so many, what may sound like 22 gauge, you know, firearms in the neighborhood. But that being said, our victim today is this Cherry Coke plastic bottle. And I can balance it perfectly right here on this bike rack. No visual effects employed. This is all actual. There we go. This is all what do you call it? A practical effect. All right. So I'm going to use my Russell Schultz to start off the proceedings. See if I can. I can't knock it toward the camera. It's going to fly off in that direction somewhere more than likely. But here we go. Well, maybe I'll try to track it toward the camera. Well, that wasn't too bad. what would it take to get it to come straight at the camera? Now let me make them fly up in the air. See if I can get it to jump up and into the air. I don't know. Not something I normally do. All right. Well, we'll get that in super slow mo at some point or another. It'll still only be 30 frames per second. But thank you for watching this video, and there may be some more cracking adventures ahead while there's still daylight. Happy cracking! All right, I'd like to get to know my Steve Townsend whip a little bit better and learn the dynamics of the Raiders whip. I'm very used to my Russell Schultz whip and its heavy balance and its much heavier weight, and realize that takes a gentler hand to make it actually crack. This one might actually take a little bit more, I don't want to say muscling or anything like that, to put it in a darker light, because people are generally a little bit less attuned to, say, muscling the whip to make it crack really, really loudly. But I think it takes just a little bit more body English to get it to crack in a very, very, very good way. Yet I see a lot of folks out there with whips just like this guy, who that's why you wear the hat and probably goggles too. You probably wear goggles, but who can do real trick shots, and that's what I'm kind of aiming for. I mean, like, there is a casualness to how they do things. They're really good whip crackers, and yet all I can do is the standards, the gimmies, your forward throw, which is awesome. And it wasn't until I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark and really got down to the business, since I was getting into buying more seriously made, bullwhips, more, artfully designed, physically sound, no pun intended, whips. I figured I might, see what it takes to really crack one correctly, and that was Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Cairo flash scene. Which is exceedingly difficult to master. I don't see a lot of people doing it. I got my whiff of it recently on a whip cracking video I posted on my own channel. I didn't post it on the Raiders cosplay scene site yet, because I figured, well, straight out of the box, I started kind of muscling this thing. I'm not proud of that. When you get a whip straight out of the box, you're kind of like, it's kind of recommended that you sort of like casually throw it, just to break it in, let the coil sort of start to relax. But that doesn't happen until way late in the game. I'll get there. But for now, before I go, this is Sammy Davis Jr. saying, be kind, be nice, and I hope the next performer has as nice an audience as you've been to me tonight. Now let me leave you swinging. I believe that's it before the cops get alerted. After all, I'm on government property, so better get the F on out of here. Happy cracking, Indy fans and Indy cosplayers alike, and we'll see you again later. One more for the Gipper from the Russell Schultz. Why not? All right. That's it. Jesus.